That was my Izuku impression from this chapter. That face, that's going in the hall markers of one of the best faces Izuku's ever made. Like, last chapter, that oh shit face, the bug-eyed face he made at the last chapter, that was amazing. That was 10 out of 10. This chapter, that face he made to Ochako, when his eyes closed, he's like, yeah, you're shining so brightly, I can't see you. Izuku makes the best fucking faces. Straight up, 10 out of fucking 10 face. Oh my god, that's thumbnail. I know for a fact, before I even edit the thumbnail or whatever, I know that's thumbnail. That is straight up thumbnail. That face alone is amazing. So, before I really talk about this chapter of Boku no Hero Academia, I noticed a lot of you really want these reviews very, very quickly. So I noticed that, for instance, majority of the day, since, I've been reviewing, Durarara, Aldeno Zero, and other stuff, Kofuku, stuff like that, I noticed a lot of you Chibis constantly asked for the Boku no Hero Academia review. Now, I am going to review it. I'm not going to drop Boku no Hero Academia. I fucking love this series. I would let you know if I was going to drop it or not review it. I love Boku no Hero. I really love this series. Been following it since pretty much the beginning of, it started. And so, don't worry. I will get the review up the day the chapter comes out, unless, unforeseen circumstances happen to where I cannot get a review out. So, just wanted to clarify that. So, anyways, this chapter of Boku no Hero, Tokoyami, at the end. Tokoyami is the horse on Izuku's team. I did not expect that at all. I did not expect to see Tokoyami actually aiding our main character, like, in a competition like this. I did not expect something like that. I don't remember exactly what place Tokoyami scored at last chapter. I didn't go back to actually look, but I think he was in the top 10. So to see Tokoyami actually helping out Izuku and Ochako and Hatsumi, I was like, whoa, why is he helping? But I mean, hey, I love Tokoyami. I mean, I haven't talked about him much, but I love his design. I really do love his design, his character design. It's just, his character model stands out among all the different characters. His character model is really appealing, and he's definitely different from the other characters, and I love his overall quirk ability with, the inner shadow familiar demon thing that comes out. And so seeing how in this chapter, like right at the end, you see Tokoyami actually use his, inner, ability, his quirk, and you see, this bird-type shape, horse. I was like, dude, that's badass. This straight up badass. So, who else was shocked to see that? I know for a fact I was shocked to see Tokoyami as the horse. I did not expect it. I expected Ida to actually become the horse of Izuku and all that, their team. I did not expect that. So, props to the mangaka, Boku no Hero Academia, showing these side characters some love. I'm glad that the writer of this series is actually showcasing other characters, not just the standard ones we have seen. Each character we've seen so far through the course of this series has had their own screen time. Ochako has definitely had the most screen time, besides Izuku and probably Great Boy. Yeah, I definitely think that Ochako has the second greatest when it comes to screen time. What? No, I take that back. Actually, All Might has second greatest, and then it would be Ochako third. But either way, the main thing is, with this, is that I'm glad the manga is taking the time to actually develop these characters. That he's not just writing these characters and throwing them in there and say, oh, look at these awesome unique looking characters here, I'm just throwing them in here, here we go, and then doesn't develop them. I'm glad the writer is taking the time to go into these characters and actually flesh them out, let us know about their quirk abilities, their names, different things like that. It really makes me respect the writer so far, taking the time to do something like this while keeping the chapters fucking amazing. I don't think since Boku no Hero Academia started, now it might be because I might be becoming a fanboy of this series, I might, but from my point of view, from reading and reviewing Boku no Hero Academia, I don't think there has been one chapter thus far that has really disappointed me at all, to any extent, really. The only time I could say it was disappointing is because of a cliffhanger. That's it. And so I have to say, Boku no Hero has retained a consistent quality, and it's actually gotten better by the chapter, and it continues to do that, and I really want to congratulate the mangaka of this series for doing something like that. I mean, fleshing out these characters, giving this proper development, having the artwork even improve. Like, I'm not joking, go back to the first and second chapter of Boku no Hero Academia, and look at this chapter. The artwork has cleaned up so much. Like, I love the artwork from the original couple chapters, but in the latest chapters, you could tell the mangaka is getting more and more used to actually working on these characters, drawing these characters weekly. You can definitely tell he's starting to get, I guess, more at ease with his work, and that can definitely be shown with his, writing creativity recently in these chapters, because as you grow more and more accustomed to writing certain characters, like, I guess, drawing characters and writing characters, the story comes at ease and it flows through your fingertips, pretty much, if you're a writer. I mean, I've written some stories. I'm not the best writer. I'm not an amazing writer, but I mean, when you write, pretty much, if you get used to these characters, it just flows off the fingertips, and that's what you can definitely tell from the mangaka Boku no Hero, because the thoughts and characters are just flowing off the pages, and you can definitely tell that he's grown quite used to this series, and I'm happy for that. I really am. I want to take a moment to say I'm happy for that, because it just shows you that he's still improving his quality, and at the exact same time, he is able to actually do it a lot faster and dive into more details with these characters. So, past that, let's actually move into the topics of this chapter. So, I want to do the simple parts first. I wanted to actually talk about the artwork, since I kind of got into it just a second ago. I want to, get the artwork out of the way before I can actually dive in and talk about the Furies, characters, and stuff like that. Artwork of the chapter. I will say it once again. Artwork is impressive, as always. Like, it's quickly becoming one of the best artworks when it comes to Weekly Shonen Jump. It definitely is. If I'm comparing it with Fairy Tail, actually, I say Boku no Hero Academia is even doing better than Fairy Tail in some instances. Even the backgrounds of this series are pretty impressive. It is, for Boku no Hero Academia. I mean, the characters look, like, clean, they look amazing, and even the small little panels have all these little details in them, and the artwork of this chapter and these past couple chapters have been beautiful. So, artwork as always, fucking amazing. I love it. Okay, now, getting on to the chapter. The chapter is really simple, actually. In looking at the chapter from an outsider's perspective, it's pretty much 15 minutes. The course of this entire chapter is 15 minutes, and our group of characters, all these different characters, are trying to form a team. That's what this chapter's main purpose is. And I felt like the pacing of the chapter and the structure of it was handled properly. It didn't feel too dull, didn't feel too boring, it didn't feel like it had too much exposition to where I was, like, getting fucking bored, and actually it had some great panels to really get you hyped up for what is coming. And all these different other character introductions that we got in this chapter makes me hope for some interesting things in the future, like that one boy in the panel. Like, we only get a glimpse of this one character in this panel, and supposedly from what we can, I guess, get from this panel is he's from Class B. And we know for a fact how Class A has been since they walked into this sports festival. Like, everybody in the crowd is cheering for Class A. All sights are set on Class A, this freshman class that is pretty much newbies. And all the Class B and all these other classes are getting quite pissed about that because Class A is sucking up all this reputation. And so, with this aspect, you see how this one kid from Class B states like, oh, Class A is going to have to worry. We're going to wreck them, pretty much. That's pretty much what the kid says. So, we have to look forward to this one kid that was showcased in this chapter with some beautiful artwork. So, for the mangaka to take the time to make that panel and show this, character's actual artwork, really clean-looking artwork, for a fact he's going to be a major threat probably in this match or maybe even the next match. It doesn't matter. But Class B is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see exactly what's going to happen there. Now, the thing is, okay, I really was shocked about was the actual character development of Izuku in this chapter. Now, this one, I couldn't believe it when I first saw it, because I did not expect to see that type of development so quickly for Izuku, our main male character. But in this chapter, right at the beginning of the chapter, like 5 pages in, Izuku realizes the weight of being number 1. And that's something that many characters at the beginning of Shonen, like, long run in Shonen, like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach stuff, that's not something that many of them can really feel a lot. And Izuku, at that point, felt like he was number 1. And instantly, when he felt that, you saw, like, him say All Might. And what that represented was that he now understands how All Might feels. He understands the weight and pressure All Might has on top of his shoulders and what he carries when he does his hero work. Pretty much, being number one isn't that easy. You have to hold all this weight and all these people gazing at you, trying to sum you up and see if you're worthy of being number one. And to see how Izuku actually had to hold that on his shoulders, and he's actually holding it on his shoulders in this chapter and in this competition, is something I respect. And I didn't expect to see that development of Izuku. I mean, he didn't take it as if he was cocky. He didn't. He now understands what his, teacher is like. And this is definitely a key stepping stone for Izuku to understand how it means to be a top hero, or a pro hero. So, looking past that point, getting into the other things of the chapter, Ida. Ida was the most shocking thing with this chapter, which I saw it coming, but at the exact same time I didn't, because the overall hints were there. It was there, the hints were, but I didn't expect to see Ida do something like that and actually abandon Izuku. Well, he didn't technically abandon Izuku. He just said, like, I look at you as my rival. And I guess you can actually consider that a sign of respect for Izuku, because, I mean, in the past, when Izuku was in middle school, we know he was bullied, he was picked on, everybody didn't like him, and he was quirkless. Nobody gave a shit about him at all. And to see how now that he's in high school, he's in the school he wants to be in, and now he's got slightly a quirk, or he's not really using his quirk much, he's getting the respect he deserves, or he's getting the attention he deserves, and he never used to have that. So I think Izuku, at the exact same time, even though he's upset with Ida kind of being his enemy, he's probably happy because he has people or friends that are willing to consider him a rival. And that's a great honor. It really is. Even Bakugo and Todoroki are considering Izuku a rival, because they don't want to be on the same team of him. They just want to be on the separate teams and beat the shit out of him and get those points. So, technically, Izuku could consider himself, honored to be in that situation. So that's more development on top of that, and just showing you the actual characterization and changes Izuku has gotten since the very beginning of Boku no Hero Academia. So, Ida, turning his back technically in this chapter, I'm kind of sad about that, because here's the thing. We all know there's the shipping pairs. We have Frog Girl, and then we have Ochako, Little Gravity Girl. And there's already two fan bases on both sides when it comes to this series. You have the Frog Girl side, and then Ochako side, who is being shipped with who, and who is going to be getting with Izuku. There's already stuff like that going on, as with almost any shonen. And I honestly thought that maybe Ida might have joined the group, because it seems very apparent from the way the mangaka writes is that he's trying to ship Ida and Ochako together. It seems very apparent. Now, I'm an Ochako fanboy. Oh, I love Ochako. I really do. And I love Frog Girl. I love Suyu. She's cute. But the way the mangaka writes Ida and Ochako together, it makes me seem like he's trying to put those two together. So I expected Ida to actually be on Ochiko's side, but it wasn't, so I was like, damn. Now, one thing I am wondering about is this entire pair with this, human cavalry, war games, pretty much, is this foreshadowing for the future pairs or future teammates of Izuku when he becomes a pro hero? I mean, it's already very obvious and apparent that Ochako and Izuku are going to be teammates. It's very, very fucking obvious, because they've been together, they're great friends, and so we know for a fact they're probably going to be teammates. And we can already tell that Bakugo's starting to gain his own, teammate too. Kurishima, I think that's the dude's name, that one kid that hangs around Bakugo a lot. We can definitely tell he's getting his own party forming too. So, we can definitely tell teams are starting to grow and bond together. And I'm just really curious, like, at the end of the day, who is going to be on Izuku's team? Like, what group is he really going to have? And I wonder if this is foreshadowing. If Tokoyami is actually going to be a part of Izuku's group, oh, I'm going to be fucking happy as hell, because he needs more screen time. Well, Great Boy also needs more screen time. I wish he was part of the main group, too, because Great Boy, he's not useless. You may call himself useless, but he's a badass. And he's the real MVP of last chapter, and he's still the MVP of this chapter. Like, I love it in this chapter. He was crying. He was fucking crying. Nobody wanted to be with him, not even Momo or anybody. Of course, Momo doesn't want to be with him, because he was hanging onto her ass across the finish line, and I'm like, what the fuck? So, of course, Momo wouldn't want to be around Great Boy. But Great Boy, I love his dialogue, and I love the way the mangaka is really taking his character. Like, he states in this chapter, like, I wanted to be with a girl! He's getting all upset and all that, but like, I'll be with you, Shoji! I'll be with you! Please be with me! Like, you're all tall and big, and I'm so small! I can't be a horse, so pretty much he wanted to hide on Shoji. I'm like, that's just... That's fucking amazing. That just... Great Boy is the MVP of the series. He's best boy. I am sorry, Great Boy is best boy. I mean, not in terms of power, but his character and personality is just so amazing. It really is. And it just brings that comedy aspect to the series that I really love, and that makes him stand out. So, other things. With the chapter, we also get, I think the girl's name is Hatsumi. I think that's the girl's name, the gadget girl. The girl that technically doesn't really use quirks. She uses, like, electronics and gadgets and stuff, and she's from the support company or support department. One of those two. Pretty much, the gadget girl, she joins Izuku's party. I'm like, whoa, whoa, like another left field ball. I did not expect her to join our group. Like, Tokoyami's one thing. I didn't expect that, but I didn't just... I can agree with that. But then this Hatsumi girl, she joins, and I'm like, what the fuck, what? So, shocking pairs. I'm curious to see exactly more of that girl's abilities. But I do want to point out something from this chapter. She states that she has babies. Now, in this chapter, there was one tiny little panel. I don't know exactly what page it was on, but there was two little robots trying to watch the sports festival in this episode. Or chapter. I don't know why I said fucking episode. Whoa. I don't want that anime right now, because if that anime comes out now, it's going to be rushed. So, anyways, getting back on topic. In this chapter, in a panel, we saw two robots. And I'm assuming, since she's the gadget girl and she said she had babies, I'm assuming those two little robots might be her robots she's made. Because we do know that AIs and stuff kind of exist in this series, because Nomu was created by someone, and he was as strong as All Might. So we do know artificial humans exist. So I'm assuming those two little things we saw that were shadowed out in this chapter was the girl's babies. Now, what else about this chapter? I guess we have the entire bit with Todoroki. Todoroki also states in the chapter that he's not here to make friends, and it probably shows us more characterization for his character. Like, he's not here to play around, he's not here to fuck around, he's here to win. That's what he's here to do, and to live up to his father's name. That's pretty much what Todoroki is doing. And that's one little bit of characterization I noticed with this chapter. I think I pretty much covered everything when it came to this chapter. I really think I did. I might be missing something. If I missed anything, I'm very sorry about that. I'm very sorry if I missed something. I think I got everything. I really did. Everything that was really, really, really vital to the point of this, chapter. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.